So it's almost the end of the first day here at DMEXCO in Cologne, and I'm joined now by the Chief Commercial Officer of Permutive, that's a global ad tech, Jay Stevens. Jay, welcome to DMEXCO. Hope your first day's been going well. I want to first start by asking you a question, which is really a big issue that happened about a month or so ago. Google made a huge announcement. It wasn't going to kill off the cookie, as we all thought. How has that impacted Permutive?
Actually, not really at all. I mean, the real truth of it and the matter is that the user and the consumer is going to be given that choice. And what we know is that 9 times out of 10, the consumer rejects all cookies. So what we're going to see is, as they're given the choice, that cookie decay, even though Google kind of abdicated responsibility and said, oh, we're going to let the consumer make that decision, we know that cookie is going to decay and is going to go away. It's just not going to be at a single, one-time instance with Chrome and Google making the decision.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy to forget that Google is just one platform, and it's not the entire world, but it's a huge chunk of the world.
Well, I mean, already Firefox and Safari natively don't have it turned on. So most people don't realize is that 65%, roughly, depends on the market, but roughly 65% of the overall internet universe is not addressable via cookie today. So that's a huge population that's not being properly reached by advertisers.
So a lot of work, nonetheless, has been done over the last few years, because everyone was expecting this from Google to kill off the cookie. So is all that work just wasted, or are there benefits in the work?
Oh, there's absolutely benefits in the work. I mean, it just is. It's just delaying the process, to be honest. I think what will be interesting will be to watch over time what the kind of loss of addressability and how much it happens and how quickly it happens over the course of the next. I think it's going to be measured in weeks and months, not years.
And that's one potential challenge, I suppose, we had. But what are some of the other challenges facing the industry as you see them?
Yeah, I think there's just, to be honest, I think there's just a lot of noise and there's a lot of players. I mean, if you think about the number of ID solutions that there are in the market, there are more than 30 ID solutions in the market. And
is that overly confusing for everyone?
I think it is. I mean, as someone who stepped out of ad tech for 6 years and is now back in it, in a different kind of ad tech, coming back into more consumer and media focused rather than agency focused, which is where I was before, it's confusing to me, and I have 20 years of experience in the space. So if it's a challenge for me, it's definitely going to be a challenge for the publishers and the advertisers looking to sort through all of the noise and figure out the solution that works best for them.
Okay, so those are the challenges. Where do you see from the inside workings at Permutive as the next exciting growth areas in the sector?
Well, I mean, I think it's publishers really being able to take control of their audience data, to be able to properly activate on that audience data to maximize yield and overall revenue. At the same time, advertisers have a great opportunity to match their audiences with those of the publisher, and we're going to see a rise let's not call it a rise, let's call it a renaissance, because in the early days of programmatic, almost everything was seller-defined audiences. It was publishers actually saying, these are my contextual signals, these are my the logged in data that I have on my users, and I'm making that available for advertisers, and that's how private marketplaces in the very early days of real-time bidding and programmatic, that's how they were done. And over time, that balance of power shifted to the advertiser using third-party data signals. Now it's the pendulum's swinging back to the publishers.
And just finally, you and the rest of your industry peers are here in Cologne for DMEXCO. It's the end of the first day. What are the sort of conversations you've been having? What are the messages you're picking up and the messages you're trying to get across?
I mean, I think probably the biggest challenge I think our clients have is really is the decay of addressability. And what that means is that especially those publishers that rely on open auction and open marketplace revenue streams, that is beginning to decay pretty significantly because the buyers are really only addressing, again, those 35% of the audience. So even though yield goes up in that particular cohort of users, the other 65% are not being bid on, and therefore, the revenue has been, I don't want to say cratering, but definitely has gone down significantly. So it's a really big problem for publishers, which is only going to get worse. At the same time, advertisers need to reach the full internet audience, and not just a small subset. So those are kind of the key challenges and takeaways of today.
And just a final question, is the answer to all of those lags then AI?
No. Sorry.
It's a big subject here.
Oh, I'm sure it is. I mean, it always is. I mean, AI is definitely going to help. It's going to help campaign efficacy and media efficiency, but it's not. Somebody still is going to have to push the buttons and turn the knobs. Some of it can be taken care of by AI, but and I've got great friends that own AI-driven ad tech companies and are doing extremely well. But somebody still has to put those line items and type in the keywords to activate the campaign. So yeah, it's not the panacea.